It's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Let's talk about 10 things that nobody ever tells you about fighting in mixed martial arts that you can't even train for in the gym and you don't really realize are a thing until you step in the cage for the first time, or a minute or two after. Number one, how sweaty, how wet, and how slippery mixed martial arts is. When you're fighting without a shirt, under hot stage lights, and we're going to get into that in a bit, you get sweaty instantly, and you become slippery instantly. If you're thinking, well, I'm good in grappling in a gi, okay, great, but that's nothing like grappling without it when you're completely drenched in sweat. It's like oil wrestling, man. The lack of friction is phenomenally different. Number two, those hot stage lights themselves. Now, every venue is different, but if you're fighting in a larger arena with a lot of stage lights on you, a lot of people watching, cameras and stuff, man, those stage lights get hot. And if there is a vinyl-covered surface as opposed to a canvas-covered surface, it's going to get very hot as well. Man, I remember a certain fight I had, there was a vinyl-covered mat in the ring. This was an MMA fight in a ring instead of a cage. Sometimes MMA fights take place in fight cages, sometimes in boxing rings. This one was in a ring. And as soon as I stepped on that mat, I was picking up my feet because it was hot. And as soon as the fight went to the ground, well, I ended up on my back first. I ended up in my guard. And oh man, it was burning my back. And so I worked as hard as I could to sweep my opponent. I got him on his back. I ended up mounting him, and I could see that same reaction to him. He was more worried about how hot that mat was. It was burning his back more so than the elbows I was dropping in his face. So that's number two. Number three, do not get distracted by the ring girls. This is something you don't have at the gym. Some bikini-clad, scantily clad woman with their boobs hanging out and all this stuff, walking around holding a ring card between each round, walking right in front of you, inches away from your face. Do not get distracted by the ring girls. Number four, where your cornerman is. This is kind of a big deal. One of the most important lessons I learned about cornering MMA fights. This one I picked up from Jeremy Horn, and that is bring the fight to your corner. I learned this by watching this man corner fights. Had the privilege of watching Jeremy coach a lot of fighters over the years back when I lived in Salt Lake City, Utah. And yeah, man, this dude is kind of a tactical genius. Bring the fight to your corner. Man, that is so important. And you can see this with some of the fighters that he helped coach in the UFC as well. For example, when Matt Hughes was on top of his game, what would Matt do when he went for the takedown? He would pick his opponents up and then run across the room to the corner and then slam him in the corner. Why? So that he could hear his cornerman. So that his opponent could not hear their cornerman. That's kind of a big deal. But nobody just volunteers that information to you like, hey, your corner's over here. Make sure you find out before the fight exactly where your cornerman is going to be. That's kind of important because if you don't know, you probably won't hear him. Next on the list, number five. Fighters are way bigger than their weight classes. A lot of people are shocked when they meet me for the first time because they look me up on the internet and they're like, oh, he was a featherweight, even though I only did one fight as a featherweight. I fought in 4 different weight classes. But then they look at me, I'm 6'1", about 205 pounds, not a tiny person, and they're like, oh, you're a giant. Oh, I thought you were a 145-pound skinny midget. Can you say that on the internet without getting canceled? Probably not. It's kind of funny. I have a friend who actually is a midget. That means a person below a certain height. And another word that gets... We're going to get this video canceled again because I'm about to say the word dwarf. A dwarf is an adult human being or an adult animal with short arms and short legs and a regular-sized head and body. Anyway, these are genetic conditions that some people have. And people try to replace these with other terms like person of diminutive stature. Does that sound better? Let's be honest. Some people are short, some people are tall, but fighters, getting back to this topic before we got canceled by the PC police. Fighters are way bigger than their weight classes. This shocks a lot of people. Fighters tend to cut quite a bit of weight, and their walking around weight, especially off-season, is considerably higher most of the time than the weight where they step on the scales. So if you hear about your favorite UFC fighter in the 145-pound weight class division, and then you meet him in person, and he's like 200 pounds, you might be like, what's going on here? I don't get it. Yeah, between the time that he steps on that scale, before the fight camp, before any thought of weight loss, that's a very differently sized human being. That guy only weighs 145 pounds for a couple of minutes, and as soon as he gets off the scales, he starts drinking water, rehydrating, and changing that weight. Goes up pretty quickly. Next, number 6. Fighting dehydrated sucks, and it makes you much, much worse at fighting. People generally know that fighters cut some weight, they sweat off some weight to make weight when they step on the scale, but what you don't necessarily know, what you're not told, is how much it affects your performance. We're often told it's dangerous, but to what extent it affects your performance, it cannot be overstated. Basically, if you're fighting dehydrated, you're going to suck compared to how you would perform not dehydrated. Number 7. Not everyone is on steroids. Almost every time I hear a discussion online about professional fighters, somebody always chimes in and says, every professional fighter is on steroids. Some of them are. There are cheaters out there, but not everybody is on steroids, believe it or not. Number 8, the rules meeting. Before a professional fight, there is a rules meeting. If you fought before, this is not news. If you've never fought before, however, the referee or the team of referees and officials will gather the fighters together at some point, generally the day before the fight, and have a rules meeting. They will go over the rules, the unified rules of mixed martial arts, or if they're fighting under a different organization that does not use UFC rules, what of those rules are. And that is the time where you may ask questions. If you have any questions at all about techniques you can use or cannot use, strategies you can use or cannot use, equipment you may use or wear or may not use or wear, that is the time to ask. Because ignorance of a rule during a fight is not an excuse. So if you, for example, cover yourself with Thai ointment, and then you step in the fight cage, and then you get disqualified for covering yourself with an illegal substance, that's on you, because you didn't pay attention at the rules meeting. Man, there was this dude... there was this dude who covered himself with Icy Hot. You know, that ointment that makes you feel hot and cold at the same time. He covered himself with Icy Hot before his first pro MMA fight, thinking that was a good idea, and man, the referee fortunately caught him before he went in the cage and had him go shower off, but he earned the fight nickname Icy Hot after that. So don't be the next Icy Hot. Pay attention at the rules meeting. Number 9, the hurry up and wait game. Oh man, before a fight, what is happening backstage in the locker room? Mostly, it's hurry up and wait. It is waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. If you start warming up too early, you might have to do it again in a couple of hours, because you don't know exactly how long that show is going to be drawn out. Maybe every fight is going to be a 3-round war, and maybe every fight's going to be a first-round knockout. You don't know. Maybe there will be some delays in between. Maybe they will have some sort of entertainment between the bouts. It's hard to tell. It varies wildly. And so a lot of what happens, you may spend hours and hours and hours backstage waiting. So it's very important to be prepared for that contingency and plan your warm-up accordingly so you don't warm up too early and waste energy, and you don't warm up too late and end up missing your cue to go out there. And number 10, dang, what was number 10? The thing that nobody tells you about professional fighting. Dang, I didn't prepare a number 10. So, 9 things that nobody tells you about competing in professional mixed martial arts. There you go. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train. Hey fella, looks like you could use a rash guard. What for, you say? Well, they protect your skin against mat-borne illnesses, mat burn, and they make you look incredibly cool. But where do I get a rash guard from? Hey, have you heard of xmartial.com? Yeah? Then what are you waiting for? Check them out right now. xmartial.com has all kinds of rash guards, from sleek and simple, novelty, badass designs, and more. Channel your inner Japanese cartoon rat monster. Express your love for bad puns and kitty cats doing iconic jujitsu moves. Hey, that panda's gonna hit the other panda with a folding chair like a pro wrestler. And this one makes your right arm stand out. xmartial.com, serving your needs beyond just no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, find brand new equipment for mixed martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, and more at xmartial.com. As always, use my code Ramsey10 for 10% off everything on the website. Once again, that's xmartial.com. Rash guards, spats, shorts, and more. Links and discount codes in the description below.